Is this good? You hear me? Awesome. Is that better? Cool. Awesome, guys. My name is Eli Wilhide. I'm the senior trainer for the Anthony Robbins companies. Tony Robbins. Guys ever hear him? I've done over 3,000 talks for Tony, and today I just want to start this off today and really just make sure that we're in the right mindset. And, I know that you guys have given up some of your time, some of your money to be here today, and if I say, let's just be here. And I know when I talk to a lot of people that I coach or that I work with, they say that they go to work and they think about home. Or when they go home, they think about work. And so if we're going to be here, let's be here. Whether it's working with your clients or even engaging your business, we really need to make sure that we're present today. So everybody say this, I'm here. I'm here. And I've gone to lots of seminars myself. And so where I haven't met all of you guys personally, some of you I do know, some of you I'll meet here later on today. But I find that when I go to events, when I remember the first time I went to a Tony Robbins event. Has anybody ever been to a Tony Robbins event? Awesome. I remember I was in the audience and Tony's wife, Sage, pulled me aside and she saw me there just looking at Tony and she said, Eli, what are you thinking? It was the first time we ever talked and I said, I was just thinking I'm going to learn more here today than anybody else in this freaking room. And so every time I go to an event, and I know that some of you are in fitness, you're a little bit competitive. And so whenever I go to an event, I find that there's a lot of people that get tuned out, or maybe they're going to the bathroom, and they're texting, or they're not fully engaged. And what we get out of anything, is equal to what we put into it. How many of you guys agree with that? Say yes. It's the same thing. What you get out of your workout is what do you put into it. What do you get out of this life? What do you get out of this seminar? What do you get out of this event will be exactly in proportion to what you put into it. So I want to make sure that we're all really engaged. And as I've been around Tony, one of the key concepts that he's always shared with me is this concept of modeling. Modeling means finding some of the best people in the world at what you do and modeling some of the same behaviors, but also some of the same thoughts and some of the same mindsets. That's really what we do here today. And I know that you're here this weekend because you want to find some of the best people in the world that will actually be on this stage in your business. And you're going to model some of the same, not only the same strategies, you're going to get a lot of strategies here this weekend, but I also want you to think about modeling the psychology. Because as we've all heard before, our success in life is 20% mechanics, but it's 80% psychology. You ever heard that before? So model, what is the passion or the intensity? What is the focus? What is the level of psychology that these people really bring to the table, and how can you start to condition that? Just like we could all go to the gym. Did anybody go to the gym this morning? Anybody going to go to the gym later today? Just like you could all hypothetically go to the gym. It's a rest day, okay. Well, just like you usually go to the gym and you condition yourself to become physically strong, I believe this as human beings, we can also condition ourselves mentally and emotionally to overcome any challenges in our life or business, and that's what's really going to set us apart. And I believe this, that every single person here, no matter where you're at in your life, no matter where you're at in your business, we all have a next level inside of us. True or false? So how do we condition ourselves mentally and emotionally to get that level of success and fulfillment to our business, to our income, to our lives? How do we condition ourselves to really have a breakthrough? That's what this weekend is going to be all about for you. But here's the deal. If we're going to get the most out of this weekend, if we're going to get the most out of this time, we can't sit around like we did back in our high school algebra class. How many of you here remember everything from your high school algebra class? Now, we're all sitting there. You do? Smarter than me. Most of us were thinking like, oh man, this sucks, this is boring. All the information started to go in one ear, and then where did it go? Out the other. And that's what happens when we listen passively. So research says that when we do that, you only retain about 10% of the information that you hear. It's like you're wasting your time. But when we do key things like take down notes, maintain eye contact, actually shout back answers, what it does, it engages our nervous system, and we're actually able to retain up to 90% of the things we hear. So the key word today is going to be participation. What's the key word? Are you guys ready to have some fun? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Awesome. Well, sit up in your chair with lots of energy. Take a deep breath. Now turn to your neighbor and go, I'm committed. Are you? I'm committed. Are you? Awesome. And so real quick, before I bring up our first speaker, I just want to touch on the fact that, fitness has meant so much to me in my own life personally. I grew up on the eastern shore of Maryland, and my dad was a bricklayer, but when I was 2 years old, my dad got put in a wheelchair from a car accident. And after he got put in a wheelchair, he was very angry, very determined, very passionate. He was a very passionate man, but he won 168 trophies and medals for bench press and bodybuilding competitions in a wheelchair. And so a lot of times we connect with our parents or we connect with people through something that they're passionate about. And the way that my father and I really connected was through fitness. We're very different. If you talk to us, we're very different people. He's like full sleeve tattoos and like a Harley guy. We're so different, but the way we connected was through fitness, oftentimes not communicating, but really finding that common bond. So the impact that you can have on your clients by marketing and really utilizing these strategies will go far beyond what you learn here today. And one of the key principles that Tony has really instilled in me is that life supports that which supports life. If you're talking to a client and you're only doing it for yourself, your client will feel that. True or false? But if you showed up here today, not only for yourself, but for your family, more of you showed up. If you showed up for your community, or if you show up for humanity, life supports that which supports life. And so today, as we talk about the strategy to go ahead, we say that success is 80% psychology. So first, before we really get into the talk, I want you to think about, when you think about the people who are the best in this business, when you think about the people who are the most successful, what are some of the words you would use to describe them? Shout them out. Driven, passionate, 100%. What else? Inspiring. Give me a couple more. What else? Kind, motivated, hungry. I like that one. And so actually, here's a better question. How many here have ever had a day of your life where you feel like you're unstoppable, you can run through walls like you can do no wrong? You ever had a day like that before? Say hi. But how many here have also had a day like, you're like, why the frick did I even get out of bed? You ever had a day like that? You're the same person, same talent, same abilities, but something different is happening based on how you're yourself. You guys follow me, yes or no? So it's not just one thing that will determine your success in this business, it's lots of different things. What I want to share with you today that you're going to take with you throughout the weekend is this one word. Write down the word patterns. Patterns. And the key to my own success and the success of a lot of people that I've met has really been this concept of pattern recognition. What are these people doing consistently? And over the next 3 days, you're going to get a lot of strategies, you're going to get a lot of information. But for myself, I've gone to a lot of different seminars, a lot of events, and it's like a fire hose of information. And sometimes you come home and you have this big, huge notebook full of notes, and you never look at it again. So here's something that I do personally, a strategy that has really helped me get the most out of my time, because I want to make sure you maximize it. So somewhere in that journal, somewhere in that notebook that you have, you're going to make 2 pieces of paper, 2 sheets of paper, blank paper, and at one of them, put $1 million moments. $1 million moments. These are the ahas. When you hear somebody up here telling a strategy, talking about something they do, you have an aha, you write that down. Because you're not going to remember 50 pages of notes. You're going to get these little takeaways. So make sure you have a place to encapsulate them. One is going to be $1 million moments, and then the other is simply action items. Things that you're going to act on. You say, you know what? That is something I got to do. And instead of putting it in this big, huge list of notes where it gets lost, you put it on a separate sheet. Does this make sense? And so going back to what I said, these are some of the patterns of how we're going to use our mind to get the most out of it. And so when I talk about patterns, what is another word for patterns? It's our habits, yes? How many here today have some good habits? Put them up. See if it's an honest group. How many of you also have some bad habits? We all do. So I will do a quick little exercise with you where you're all going to teach me something about your current habits and patterns. That is how you consistently show up in your business, how you consistently show up in your personal life as well. Are you ready for this? Yes. Are you ready for this? Yes. Please, everybody stand up. Awesome. Getting some exercise in now. First thing I want you to do is you're standing there, put your hands out in front of you, about 6 inches like so. And I always like checking out where the guys put 6 inches and where the girls do. But anyway, when I say go, we're going to clap our hands together like that. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3. How quick do we learn patterns? How quick? I know it's a cheesy example, but in less than 5 seconds, we already start to develop a pattern. True or false? How quickly in our business or even our personal lives does somebody not show up for an appointment, a deal falls through, something doesn't go your way, and before we know it as human beings, we start falling into the same old habits, patterns, routines, but of thought, feeling, and emotion. It's the roots that determine our fruits. Does this make sense? This time, take both your hands and intermingle all your fingers together, just like that. And take a good look at your thumbs. Who has their right thumb over their left thumb? Put up nice and high. Oh, it's very good. Latest research says that if your right is over your left, it means you're very creative. You can keep it up there. It means you're very creative and sexy, and you'll be an amazing lover throughout the rest of your natural life. No switching your thumbs. Now, who has their left thumb over the right? Oh, this is very good too. This means you're most likely the logical thinkers, and you're all going to be multi-millionaires. Now you're like, doing the sex or the money. Did anybody have them like this side by side? I saw you had them like that for a second. What's your name? Sharon, you had them like this for a second, didn't you? You know what this means? It means that you're going to make a lot of money and have a lot of sex. She's like, I knew this. Make a lot of money and have a lot of sex. So guys, it's just a joke. Here's the most interesting part. Take your hands however they were, and I want you to switch them. Switch everything. How does it feel when you switch it? It's a little weird. It's a little uncomfortable, right? Why does it feel uncomfortable? It's because I broke your what? Your habit, your pattern. And my point is this. When you change your current way of doing things, it feels a little bit uncomfortable, yes or no? Yes. You think about it, even when you train a client or somebody's training you, and they give you a really heavy weight. Somebody gives you a heavy weight and they say you have to do it 10 times. Which one feels the hardest, the first or the 10th? The 10th, yes? You guys are trainers, right? It gets heavier and heavier. Which one actually gives you the growth? The 10th, the 11th, the 12th, the 15th. So it's how do we push beyond our comfort zone? How do we stay more engaged? And I know with social media, and there's so many distractions that we have today, pulling our attention 1,000 different directions. So sometimes when you feel that urge to do what's comfortable, to go outside or talk on the phone or deal with some tragedy out there, stay engaged, stay here, because you're going to learn tools here today, if you really stay engaged, that could literally change the quality of your life. You guys follow me, yes or no? So are you guys ready to condition yourself not only physically, but mentally and emotionally? If you're ready, say, I'm ready. Awesome. Give yourself a big round of applause. Go ahead, take a seat feeling great. And go ahead, take a seat feeling great. And I have the great privilege today, coaching. I've been personally mentored by Tony Robbins off and on since 2005. And this man has made such a major impact in my life, changing not only the quality of my communication with others, but more importantly, how I communicate with myself. And I've learned strategies from him and lots of coaches that have had a major impact on my life. And today I have the great privilege to bring up and introduce you to one of my personal coaches that has had a huge, huge impact on the quality of my business and the quality of my life. Please give it up for an amazing, amazing human being, Mr. AJ Mihrzad.
Yeah. So good to see you, man.
Hey, nice to see you, buddy.
Love you, bro.
Love you too, man.
All right. So good to be here this morning. Before we get started, can I just ask a huge favor of everyone? If you could just put both your hands up in the air like you just don't care. Please, I want to see a bunch of hands, palms, hands wide open. Put your right arm on the shoulder of your neighbor. Give them a nice squeeze. Squeeze their shoulder. Give it a shake. Say, wake up, baby cakes. All right. So we're going to get started super quickly. I just want to make sure my audio and video is on point. But before we get going, I know we're kicking off an amazing 3-day seminar. So could you just share what's your biggest intention over the next 3 days? So on a piece of paper, in your books, in your computers, if you could just write down what is your big intention? What do you want to get out of this event, this seminar? Is it a big breakthrough? Is it a possible networking? Is it an insight for your business? Are you trying to solve a problem? Do you want to get laid? What do you want out of these 3 days? Write it down. Khaled? All right. Is there any way to just put that in a presenter view so I can see the slide? I just want to put it on a presenter view so I can just see that. Okay, great. All right. Thank you for your patience. So today we're going to go really deep into how to build a high profit, low expense online fitness coaching business. But I'm just curious, like from a show of hands, who in here currently does online coaching or online training or offers it? Okay. Got a good amount of people. Fantastic. So I'm going to go into a lot of the how-to, but also my own personal journey of how I built my online coaching business. It's really a few simple systems that we're going to go over, but things you could implement by the end of this presentation. So who am I? For those of you that don't know me, I have an online coaching business called Life Fuel Fitness. I'm also the best-selling author of the book, The Mind Body Solution. I host the Online Super Coach podcast. Essentially, what I do is just interview million-dollar online coaches who are in the fitness, life coaching. If you're an online coach, I have you on my show, and I just break down your entire business model from start to finish. So I'm curious, has anyone in here listened to my podcast or heard of it? Okay, so many people. All right. So I also run the online Super Coach Mastermind. Essentially, it's a group of people that are just focused on building their online coaching businesses. Happy to see a lot of my students in here. And, essentially, this is what I do, right? If you're looking to take what you currently do in person, what I call your superpower, and then build and leverage online business from it, that's exactly what I'm going to go over today. So I also have a certification that I created. It is specifically for online coaching. I've teamed up with my good friend John Spencer Ellis. He's in the crowd, and we have it through his Nesta personal training organization. So it's a fully accredited certification. If you're looking to understand like the dynamics of building your online coaching business and some of the liabilities and really the requirements, just you can look it up, the online coaching COC certification. And also, I have been a business mentor and a coach for 12 years. I started off as a personal trainer, and then I transitioned online, and now I help fitness professionals and coaches scale their online businesses. And I'm addicted to peanut butter. Who else likes peanut butter? I'm just curious. I'm like a crackhead around that stuff. Like, seriously, I could eat an entire jar in one sitting. Like, if I have it inside my house, I'm always feeding for it. So, got to stay away from it at all times. And also, I in the past year, I've been experimenting with taking 2 naps a day. Who takes naps in here? Wow. Like, seriously, naps are powerful. Like, I would not be the man I am without my naps. They've made such a difference in my life. I don't sleep all day long, of course, but I take 2 20-minute naps, around noon, around 6 o'clock, and they recharge me. And it's kind of cool. It's like a sleep hack. You literally sleep less. I find I sleep 4 to 5 hours a night because of all the naps I take. So just love my naps. But before I get into my presentation, I'm going to get into how I got into fitness in the first place. This was me at my worst, my heaviest. I was 60 pounds overweight. And I struggled with my weight large majority of my life. I mean, I had it all. You can see big old chipmunk cheeks, man boobs, big old belly. And for me, weight loss was always a challenge. And it came from emotional eating. Growing up, I had a bit of a challenging childhood. My father was very abusive, and he would always really get on my case, He did the best he could, but he was very verbally abusive toward me, always calling me fat, lazy, and stupid. And he had this temper, and he would lash out on my family. I had 3 younger brothers, and I was the oldest. And he would really be verbally and physically abusive towards his kids, but also my mother. And there were many occasions where my father would hit my mother, and it was in front of the entire family. And it was very challenging to see that, because as a kid, you're powerless because you see your 2 parents that you love, and you're put into a situation where your father is hitting your mom, and you can't do anything about it. You're just paralyzed. And it really affected me. And, as a young child, I would experience this, and I didn't know what to do. I wasn't equipped to deal with this type of trauma. So for me, food was always the escape. So I would just eat until I felt better, eat until I was full, eat until I wanted to vomit. And that's what led me to just become very self-destructive towards myself because I didn't know how to cope. When you grow up, it's you're put in situations that you really don't know how to deal with. So what do you look for? You look for something external. And at first it was food for me. And then I got into using drugs. As I got older, I started to drink and do drugs, and I would drink excessively until I blacked out. I just never saw like drugs or alcohol. You know, it was more like something where I just wanted to get as messed up as possible and just stop this mind that was always thinking about the past and all these experiences that I had, a lot of depression and anxiety. And then I got into illicit drugs in my early 20s when I was doing cocaine and ecstasy and crystal meth. And it was multiple times when I like literally overdosed, like ended up in the ER, and doctors were like, you were like this close from dying. But I had so much pain inside of me that even an overdose of ending up in an ER, like that didn't stop me. There was just so much pain within, and like I had a really serious one where I was put in a coma for 7 days, and this happened in my early 20s, and like that overdose was really like, I guess, the straw that broke the camel's back. And it was my family just being by my side. And, you know, it was kind of like seeing all of this and everything that I went through. And like, I said to myself, like, wow, you know, like this is what I did. This is what I created. But I also realized, like, why do I keep doing this to myself? Why do I let myself become this overweight? And why do I want to destroy my body and my mind? And it was just realizing that, is this really like the depression and the anxiety? Is it something that I can control? You know, and I realized that like big overdose of being in a coma for 7 days and coming back to life was kind of like a sign for me. It was like, now I got to do something. And that's when I really got into like, all right, I got to clean up my life. I got to detox myself. So I stopped the drinking and I stopped doing drugs, and I discovered the world of fitness. And at first it was like, I just got to do whatever it takes to just become healthy. I'm going to stay sober and just go to the gym and just try to lose this weight, because I was 60 pounds overweight here. This was like at my rock bottom moment. And I feel like a lot of times, like, we make a change because we hit rock bottom. And for me, it was just doing the complete opposite. Like, I have an extreme mentality, so sometimes, like, I'll do things to the extreme where they'll almost kill me, but at the same time, I will go to the extreme to better myself. So that's when I just started going to the gym every single day. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I was doing like 2 hours of cardio on the treadmill. I was eating lettuce and turkey breast. And I was losing weight, and I felt better. I was skinny fat, if you know what that means. You're just losing the weight, but you're burning the muscle as well. And that's when I said, you know, wow, like, I feel better. I feel more confident. For like the majority of my life, I was very shy. You know, I was very insecure with myself, how I looked, how I talked. I stuttered for the first 20 years of my life. Like, even being up here and talking, it's like, wow, I'm kind of shocked, you know. But this was kind of like the realization that I had, because like fitness, it gave me the ability to change my physical body. And by changing my physical body, I became more confident. I became more energetic. And I realized, like, wow, you know, if I could change the external, what can I change internally? So then I decided to like really just make this a career. I was in college at the time, and I went back and I changed my degree to exercise science and nutrition. And I realized like how much my mind was affecting me. And I said, you know, I don't want to take antidepressants. I don't want to be on any drugs to get rid of the anxiety and the depression. So I decided to major in psychology so I could kind of figure out my own mind, but in turn understand like why people do what they do, you know. And obviously it's been a lot of work to kind of improve myself or to get over a lot of the demons that I had, but also to forgive my family, you know, because for a long time I wondered why my father was so abusive and why my mother let it happen and why this whole dynamic was eating me up inside. And you know, I came to realize, like I said, in life, people do the best they can with what they're equipped with. And perhaps this was a sign for me to become a better person, to improve myself, to equip myself with better capabilities. And this led me to like really understand, like, you know, if I could shift my body, I could shift my mindset, and I could also accomplish more in life. So then I got this real big passion of like, wow, you know, losing the weight, becoming healthier, detoxing my mind and body just gave me so much happiness, so much confidence that I decided to make fitness a career. And that's when I started doing personal training. At first, like, I didn't know what I was doing. I was literally just helping people inside the gym, just teaching them what I learned in my weight loss journey, helping them lose weight, do the exercises, give them like some basic nutrition plans. And I realized, well, I can make a living out of this. And when I first started, I actually joined like a corporate gym. And like, it was really difficult because I'm curious, like who started off personal training at a corporate gym? Like, yes, it's like one of the worst business models because essentially they fill it up with a bunch of trainers and they just focus on volume. So their main objective is to get as much personal training sessions per month, but they don't care about the trainers themselves. So like, I had this passion for helping people, and I'd love to train my clients and be with them, but I didn't really know sales or marketing. You know, I was like in the middle of the gym floor, like twiddling my thumbs, waiting for clients to come. I didn't realize that like you have to market yourself. You have to go out and talk to people. You have to sell yourself. I mean, I could get people results, but I didn't have the skill sets. And when I first started, it was definitely a bumpy road because once I realized like the corporate gym wasn't cutting it, I then went and rented space in a gym, and I was in a place where I was just paying rent and training clients. And I really didn't understand business that well. It was kind of like training clients back to back, getting up at 5 a.m., working until 9 p.m., but having to pay the expenses of the rent. So I realized when I started to market myself, I had expenses with that. Then I had the expenses of the rent that the gym that I worked at, the rent there, but also the ability of just trying to sustain a business. So I was like busting my ass for the first few years of growing my personal training business, barely making ends meet because the money that I was making was going toward my expenses. I was working all day long, and it was like a long period from like the year 2000 to 2010 when I was really trying to gain traction, and I really didn't go on a lot of vacations, you know, because like the nature of the personal training business, especially if you're doing one-on-one training, you're essentially trading hours for dollars. So when you're away for like 2 to 3 days, you're losing money, right? You go away on vacation, you're losing a lot of money, and at the same time, like I had this insecurity that if I go away for a long period of time, my clients would go to someone else, you know? Like it was just all these like inner battles with the whole model. So that's when I decided like I really needed to understand how to market myself. I needed to sell myself and also to really just get out of this rat race because it's like 2 ways of going broke. I was going broke, working all day long, trying to make ends meet, trying to pay the rent, pay my expenses, but there was someone else that was just sitting on a couch smoking weed all day long, right? They're both going broke, but I was busting my ass. So it's kind of like, I got the wrong equation over here. So that's when I really started to like know that I needed to make a change. Like with me, when I was in that journey of being overweight and being addicted to drugs, and I hit my rock bottom of overdosing and being in a coma. I think like with me, with my business, it was just the years and years of stress and being burnt out and being in this place where like I'm so passionate about helping people, but this model is not sustainable. So like, you know, if I just continue like this, I'm going to just make some profits and go in this direction, but for how much longer? Like my biggest fear was, okay, if I am a personal trainer and this is the only skill that I have, am I going to be like an 80-year-old personal trainer? You know, because this is like the only skill set that I have. So that's when I like really decided to find out like what are other people doing? Like what are the other models that other trainers are making money? So I had a friend at a time, his name was Gabby. He had a boot camp and he was like, dude, you really got to get into direct response marketing. And I was like, direct response marketing? Like I really didn't understand that concept. He's like, you have to learn how to market yourself on the internet using direct response. And then I just like went on Google and I just started looking up direct response marketing, and it led me to the world of fitness marketing and understanding that there were trainers that were making 6-figure, some of them like 7-figure facilities. And it was the ability of knowing that there was this whole other world out there that I was not exposed to. I was just training clients back to back, paying the rent of the studio, but I knew there was this ability of growth, this ability of impacting more lives. So then like I started to really delve into that world and understand that, wow, like I'm just curious, like, before I go deeper into it, like who knows the difference between direct response marketing and regular brand marketing? Does anyone? Can anyone share? Okay. I'll explain right now. So like direct response marketing is kind of like an infomercial. Like if you watch an infomercial, let's say Wednesday at 7 o'clock, it plays for an hour. And let's say, for example, that infomercial is making $500,000, okay? And it costs about $200,000 to play the infomercial. So you could directly track when that infomercial is on the television it made $300,000. So it's a positive ROI, and you know at a certain time, it made you the money, okay? So like brand marketing is like a Calvin Klein ad in Times Square. Essentially, you just have Calvin Klein in jeans, right? So it's like very vague. It's not trackable. It's a brand. It's a $1 billion brand. Essentially, you can't track it. So for small businesses, for especially personal trainers, fitness professionals, if you have a studio, you want to focus on direct response marketing because it's very trackable and tweakable. And I highly suggest that you study everything you can about the subject because it's putting out marketing, advertising that is directly trackable. Like a Facebook ad is an example of direct response marketing. You put an ad out, it gets a certain amount of clicks. Now, at the end of the month, if you're paying for the ad spend, and you make more profits, then it's a good ad, okay? There's an ROI. You could directly track the ROI. So I started to really understand this world, but also get into personal development. Like my man Eli over here, he gave a really powerful presentation about personal development, about the fact that our mindset's everything. Obviously, our mindset controls a big portion of our life, and if we're willing to do the work, we're willing to improve our life, right? These are all skills. Happiness is a skill. Energy is a skill. Confidence is a skill. Like I said, if I was this stuttering, addicted to drugs, overweight kid who just was so shy, I could never imagine doing this. But personal development over the years allowed me to be confident and to come up in front of you guys and share my message, okay? And this is years and years of hard work compounded over a daily basis. So when I was doing a lot of personal development and learning marketing, the biggest thing that I've learned was the ideal day exercise. And if you guys have never done it, I highly urge you to do it. It's a very simple exercise where on a piece of paper, you write out your ideal day from morning to night. What would you do when you wake up? What would you do throughout the day? What type of career would you have? How would you spend your time? How would you spend your energy? Who would you have lunch with? If you were serving a type of clientele, would you go to a gym and serve them? Would you work from home? So I did this about 8 years ago in explicit detail, and everything about it I wrote down. I'm an introvert, right? I'm a homebody. I love working from home. So I was I want to have a business where I could train my clients and not go anywhere, not have an alarm clock, just wake up and use the power of the internet to train people. I wanted to be able to write books, start podcasts, create information products, but not have to travel anywhere, not have to trade hours for dollars. I could just do it, create it one time, and then leverage myself, essentially Canon clone myself. So this exercise is very powerful, right? You could look at it from an intentional point of view, just like the intention in the beginning of this. You're kind of setting an intention of how you want this weekend to go. This is how you want your life to go. But also, it puts a target in front of you, right? Because when you have a crystal clear target of how you want your ideal life to look, how much money you want to make, the house you want to live in, the car you want to drive, the family you want to have, the career, the people you want to serve, that becomes your signpost, right? Every decision is going to be directed toward that vision. So I like to use a test, and it's called the Hell Yes test. It's also the FBS test, but I'm not going to curse here. But essentially, it's once you have that end vision of your ideal life, every single decision is going to be a hell yes or a hell no. So for me, it was this is my intention. This is the life I want to live. And for the past 8 years, I've just been putting it through that hell yes filter. So if I have a friendship, a business partnership, a relationship, if someone says, let's collaborate on something, well, is it going to be closer to that vision or farther than that vision, okay? It gives you a really powerful intention. So that's what I started to do. I started to really take this stuff seriously and take the actions every single day to invest in coaches, go to masterminds, come to seminars like this, and to just expand my mind of what's possible, but also be in a position to implement, okay? I would learn something, put it into play. If it worked, yes. If not, throw it to the side. But everything was based on that ideal day. And I got super serious about this. I literally started to put pictures on my bedroom wall of everything, right? My ideal house, my ideal car, my ideal relationship, my intellectual life. If you think about your life, it has all these different categories, right? Your finances, your career, your relationships. I mean, everything has an ideal, right? Or something you want to aspire to. Of course, that always changes as you change, as you evolve. But if you have that vision, you know exactly what the target is. And it's a hell yes, you get closer. Hell no, you avoid it. So this was the house that I put literally 8 years ago on my bedroom wall. And I was like, if I could live in a house like this and run my business out of there, serve people all around the world, and create content once. Like, I'm a huge nerd. I love to learn. I love to teach. And if I could create something where I'm passionate about learning about certain subjects, create information products, and then teach it to other people, that's like a dream come true business for me. So I'm happy to say that over the past 8 years, I've been able to actually buy that house. I actually moved in here a month ago, and thank you. I appreciate it. And I learned the skills to actually have a business that funds this ideal life, right? This thing that I wrote on a piece of paper that was so vague. And honestly, 8 years ago, I was kind of like, am I really going to get this? You know, I didn't believe it myself. But it was the signpost in every decision. And I knew that if I had the why, if I have like the big desire, if I have like, this is what I want with all my heart, then I'm going to do whatever it takes to achieve it, okay? So what I want to go through for this presentation is my journey, exactly what I did, so you could take a few things away for yourself and understand, like, it's possible, okay? Because a lot of stuff I'm going to talk about is suspending disbelief, because these are the things that I had to get over, these limiting beliefs of what's possible, especially in the fitness industry, of what we could charge and what type of business we could have, or the fact, one of the biggest limiting beliefs that I had was that I had to physically be in front of my clients all the time to make a living. So it's about taking what you have in your mind and leveraging it, right? Canning and cloning yourself, being in a position where you take this amazing knowledge that you have and using the power of the internet, the technology that we have in the current day, and to build a long-term leverage business out of it, okay? So obviously for me, like, the biggest thing was freedom, because I think that when we think about the priorities in our life, whatever you prioritize a certain feeling, for me, I said freedom first. Freedom first, then family, then finances, and obviously that becomes like your filter, right? I love to ask people this great question. You could ask it yourself too. If I waved a magic wand and you can have one thing in your life that you've always wanted, what would that be? And when the first thing that you say is like your deepest desire, that's your priority. So like when you're asking yourself these questions, you're creating priorities in your life, but also you're creating filters. So for me, like, freedom was everything. I'd rather make less money, but have more freedom. Other people are on the other end, where they want to make billions of dollars and work, 20 hours a day and just be like always producing, hustling all the time. That's totally cool. There's nothing wrong with that model, but it's about understanding your priorities. And based on that, that becomes your model of the world. So I'm going to get into exactly what I did based on my philosophy, because the great thing about this seminar, the great thing about just business in general, there's so many different ways to go about it, right? So I'm talking about online fitness coaching. Maybe 2 or 3 other people are going to share the same exact strategies. Maybe you have an online coaching business and there's certain things that you do. But the great thing is you get to accept what is aligned with you and reject what doesn't work, okay? So I'm going to go over my philosophy and what helped me and what I do for all my students. And that is the 5 systems that you need to start a profitable online coaching business, okay? So one thing that I like to do is simplify it, right? I spent 8 years building up this model, and I made a lot of mistakes, went through a lot of ups and downs, lost a lot of money, made a lot of money. So I'm going to boil it down to the concentrated version, the exact step-by-step process, and exactly what you need to do by the end of this presentation, okay? So just keep in mind, like, I talk fast. I'm, like, very passionate. I'll be moving super fast, but it's not about me. Obviously, I have an agenda to share my message and to serve you, but it's your seminar, right? You guys are here to learn, to absorb, and if at any point you want more clarity, raise your hand, ask a question. I'm going to be talking about a lot of technical stuff, like virtual infrastructures and direct response marketing. If there's any point where, like, I'm not really clear on this, just raise your hand, because like I said, I'm here to serve you. I'm going to be here, obviously, for the entire weekend, sitting down in those seats, taking notes, learning alongside with you, but this is not my seminar. It's your seminar, right? So if at any point you need more clarity, just let me know, okay? So feel free to raise your hand. Like I said, feel free to share. Because, the power of these seminars, and that's why, I invest heavily into going them myself. I'm here not only to speak and share, but to learn. I want to learn from you. You have amazing skills and insights that I want to learn from. So I'm going to be talking to you throughout the weekend, and I encourage you to do that as well. When I went to my first seminar, it changed my life. I mean, there's people in here that I've developed friendships with, that I've developed business partnerships with, collaborated with. I've had them on my podcast. I've been on their podcast. But it all starts with a conversation. And this is something that, is not easy for me. Like I said, being an introvert, sometimes it's hard to approach someone and talk. But I urge you, throughout this entire weekend, to just, share, enroll people in your vision, and really discuss, the insights you're getting. Because, like I said, a lot of these things are getting it out of yourself and getting it out into the world. Just like when you're writing your intention, when you're writing your ideal day, when you're talking about your new vision, it becomes real. And we hold you accountable, right? So I'm going to probably be at the North Cal Summit in 2017. So when you're talking, in the next year, this is my intention. This is what I want to do with my business, my life, my family. We're going to hold you accountable. So when you verbalize it, it becomes real. So please share, enroll others in your vision. It's going to become a lot more powerful. And like I said, just suspend disbelief, because I'm going to be talking about a lot of topics that you may see well, that's not possible, or that's not possible for me. Just for this presentation, just be well, it is possible, and I'm going to learn how to do it myself, okay? So just have an open mind with a lot of this stuff, because it was the same thing with me. A lot of things that held me back was my own limiting beliefs of how much money I could make or what is hard work, okay? So when I was struggling and building up my personal training business, I was busting my ass at the highest level, getting up at 5 a.m., working till 9 p.m. I had back-to-back clients, and I was making a good amount of money, right? Enough to pay my bills and to live a decent life, but I was working my ass off. So my limiting belief at the time was if I want to make 10 times more money, I have to work 10 times harder. 10 times more clients, more hours, more stress, more customer service, more emails. But I realized that life doesn't work the way our logical minds see it. Sometimes shit happens where you have this amazing growth that your life, you could literally work less and earn more. And that's essentially what I did. Like I said, I can never imagine making 10 times more money than I did, but taking 2 naps a day, working from home, relaxing, enjoying myself, loving life, being healthy, being balanced, traveling, and still making money. So just kind of put your limitations to the side and open your mind to what's possible. Okay, that's going to be really important this entire weekend. So I'm going to go through the 5 systems very quickly, but we're going to go deeper into them. So no need to write them down, but the first and most important system that you need is your authority expert positioning, okay? This is key because when you're positioning yourself as an expert, you want to be a specific expert, okay, in a very specialized area. Number 2, you want to focus on attracting your ideal client. 3, we're going to go into automated sales systems. 4, converting high-ticket offers after you warm people up sufficiently. And the most important thing we're going to talk about is how to deliver online leveraged coaching through a virtual infrastructure. So how to do the work once, create a system that you built one time that delivers the coaching for you over and over and over and over again, okay? So the first thing we want to talk about is choosing your target market. Now, this is the foundation of online coaching, okay? The biggest mistake people make is the fact that they're too general, right? They go, I want to be a weight loss expert. I want to be a muscle building expert. But these are billion-dollar industries. You have Beachbody, P90X, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig. They own a lot of space in this market, and also they spend a lot of money on marketing. And you have a lot of experts who just do the same thing. So the secret in online coaching is to be a specialist in a very, very small demographic, okay? And I'll give you an example in the medical community. So who knows the difference between a family doctor and a brain surgeon? Kira? Exactly. Great. Beautiful. So, Kira, explain how they are more specialized.
Well, they go through more training.
Yes, no, that's great. Great distinction. Essentially, like the family doctor here in the States, you could literally go at every zip code, find a family doctor, and the actual family doctor, like a generalist, they take on everyone. They make like 6 figures a year, give or take. But then the brain surgeon, they're doing like 7 figures a year. You can't just go up in their office. You need to be referred to them. They have a very small scope of specialization. That's the human brain. And because of that, they earn literally 10 times more than the average doctor, okay? So in the online world, it's the same exact thing. You want to be a specialist in a very, very small area. I'm going to go into exactly how to do that and how to discover your own specialization. But I'll talk about one of my students who like nailed this, and he was struggling initially with his online coaching business. So he started off what everyone else does and just says, I'm going to help you lose weight. I do online coaching to help you lose weight. So his name is BJ Cook, and he's a phenomenal coach, but the problem is he's trying to be everything to everyone. So he was trying to grow his online business for years and years and years and just not making any traction, you know? So he started off with like a $500 program, then nobody bought that. Then he went and took his $500 program that he put a lot of time and effort to, went down to like $97, and was having a hard time selling that as well, and just kept on devaluing himself, right? So he's like, listen, this online thing doesn't work. I tried it. Nobody wants to buy. I'm not getting the clients I want. And I said, your biggest mistake is the fact that you're trying to hit everyone, right? It's like so competitive to just go into weight loss. If you go into muscle building, if you go to YouTube, you'll see so many experts saying the same exact thing. Now, how you stand out is by becoming ultra specific. So I asked him very quickly, I said, who are your best clients? Like when you get results for people, who do you tend to attract? And he said, well, a lot of women come to me for a bikini body, right? Okay, so like, what are their age groups, give or take? He said 25 to 35, and they want to get into bikini shape. I'm like, cool. Is this a person you like working with? He goes, yeah, I love working with women who want to get in bikini shape because I have, great exercise for them and nutrition if they want to go into competing. I know that stuff like the back of my hand. Perfect, BJ. Let's focus on that. Let's just revamp your program, set up 3 things. A marketing system that only attracts women who want bikini physiques, age 25 to 55. They're coming in through your funnel. You're going to sell them your 12-week program. So we created like a 90-day bikini body program because 95% of the women that come go through the same exact journey in terms of the step-by-step process over the 12 weeks. And then on the back end is delivering a delivery system that doesn't have to be so customized, okay? He could make small tweaks in the virtual infrastructure, but for the most part, it's like the same exact thing week by week. So we just literally launched a 12-week bikini program marketed towards these specific people, and he priced it at the same price that he started with, $500, and this is exactly what happened right when he launched it in his first week. So I'm sharing my win for the week, $11,000 in profit in only 7 days. So we closed 22 deals at $500 each with a 12-week bikini body challenge, okay? So this is the power of specificity. It's basically focusing on one specific target market, speaking their language, understanding their pains, their desires, building a program just for them, and then having your whole business to really just serve this market. So now, like BJ, obviously he's grown his business significantly since he did that initial launch. He's now in a place where he's positioned himself as the bikini expert for women aged 25 to 35. So once you have that basic infrastructure, the model, the marketing, the back-end system, then you want to go into writing books and podcasting, doing seminars, because it's all about becoming an expert authority. And if you look at anyone who's at the top of their game, that's basically serving a specific demographic, they're focused on different platforms, right? Serving people through different avenues, but it all comes with one, discovering your superpower, okay? So this is what I tell my students, and it's my firm belief, something I've discovered myself. I feel that we all have a superpower, right? Something that people are so attracted us for. So imagine like everyone wants the same thing, right? Everyone wants to lose weight, gain muscle, change their physique, but people come to you for a specific reason, okay? And that's something you have to think about. Like, why do people come to me? Why do they choose me than other fitness professionals? And this is something you have within. And the more you understand your superpower, this is where you come into alignment, right? When I discovered my superpower, this is where I started to work less and earn more. And to be in a place where like I didn't have to hustle, I didn't have to push myself, I didn't have to chase my clients, they were attracted to me. So I'm going to go into a quick exercise that's going to help you discover your superpower. Super simple, but a lot of these exercises, and this is what I believe in life as well, write the first thing that comes up, because so many times we overthink, and overthinking creates problems that don't even exist in every part of life. But I truly believe that we have this powerful intuition that knows all the answers. If you listen to your inner voice, it'll never leave you wrong. So the first thing that comes up, write it down, okay? So to discover your own superpower, I use this chart, and this is what I do for my students, is basically to discover what I call your zone of genius, okay? So at the top sphere, you see a little circle, and that is your zone of genius. So that's like the 2 or 3 activities that you do on a daily basis that just give you energy, that just fire you up. The more you do this, the more inspired, creative, and energized you get, okay? For me, it's public speaking. Like, I am honored to be here to share my message. I could go on and on for hours and hours and hours, and I'll feel more energized. Like, from when I started, I'm more inspired, I'm more amped up, I'm more passionate. So this is in my superpower. How can I do more public speaking, right? When I film videos, I do a lot of selfie videos on Facebook, record, film. I do this all day long because I love doing it. So just ask yourself, like, what are the activities that you love doing, right? Your superpower, also known as your unique ability, is the activity that energizes you the more you do it. If you could do this all day long, it'll just feel like you're playing. It doesn't feel like work, okay? Next up, we have our zone of excellence, okay? Your zone of excellence is an activity that makes you money, but it makes you tired, okay? So when I first started as a personal trainer, I was jazzed up. I love getting up at 5 a.m. I love working all day long. I love back-to-back clients. It gave me so much purpose, gave me so much certainty. But after a certain amount of time, I started to get new skills. I gained more confidence, more belief in myself. And I was like, wow, I want to write a book. I want to start a podcast. Why am I not speaking? And when I was training my clients, mentally, I had to dream of my vision of what I really wanted to do. So I was starting to get tired, okay? So that became my zone of excellence. Like right now, if I had to, I could train from 5 a.m. till 9 p.m. I could do it, but it's going to make me tired as hell. And it's going to take away my creativity, my mind power, and my energy towards the things I really love doing. So that's your zone of excellence. You could write down what comes up. What is your zone of excellence? The stuff that you're good at, but it makes you tired. Then you have your zone of competence, okay? Your zone of competence are activities that you're good at, but you don't like doing, and they make you tired, okay? So, for example, for me is like mowing my lawn. I hate that shit, I just don't like mowing the lawn. So for me, it's like, I could do it, I don't want to do it, but it makes me tired, but I'd rather hire someone else, a gardener, to do it. I'd rather pay them, right? And then you have your zone of incompetence. Now, these are the things that you hate doing, you probably can't do. It's going to take you a long time to figure it out, and it just zaps your energy, okay? So I just moved into my new home about a month ago, and for me, it was installing Wi-Fi, getting a modem. So I know that if I had to go on Google and find out how to hook up a Wi-Fi modem, it would take me 4 to 5 hours. That would just drain my whole day. It'll take away from my creative endeavors. I wouldn't be doing the things I love doing, and at the same time, I shouldn't be doing it. So I called the guy on Craigslist, and for $30, he came by, did it in 30 minutes, and I was good to go, okay? So how do you get to do more of your zone of genius activities? Well, 3 things. You outsource, automate, or delegate, okay? So now we have so much amazing technology that a lot of these tasks that we do over and over and over again, you can use technology to do it. We have virtual assistants, right? In multiple countries that for like $5, $6, they could start taking your tasks. There's a website called TaskRabbit. And if you want someone to mow your lawn, you go on TaskRabbit.com, mow my lawn, you'll find someone in 15 minutes, they'll do it, right? Whatever you want. But you want to start doing more and more things in your zone of genius to tap into your superpower, because it's really like, if you look at the best in the world, I'll give you an example. I was actually in a mastermind, and this mastermind had like people that were making $100 million. There's a few $1 billion in the group. And like, we were like so fascinated by the billionaires because they all did it like within a lifetime. They're self-made billionaires. So we were like studying them, observing them. They would come up in like, forums like this and talk and share. And the one trait that we noticed is the fact that like they did the least amount of work throughout the day, meaning they had teams to just do stuff for them, do their laundry, go shopping for them, go to the post office. And what they focused on were like 2 to 3 activities, but these were like the most powerful and impactful activities in their business, in their life. So it's the same thing with high-level athletes, right? Like a Michael Jordan, when he's in his prime, he's doing the work within his superpower. He's not cleaning the stadium and he's not selling the tickets, right? He's focusing on his zone of genius. So when you get to do this, what do? You get better and better and better and better at your superpower, right? The more times that I get to speak, the better I get at speaking. The more practice I get, I work on my craft and I gain mastery, right? One of my superpowers is coaching my clients. I love doing that. So the more I coach, the more time I get, the more understanding I get of people's personalities, and the better results I get over time, right? So I'd rather gain mastery with my superpowers than in the things that I'm excellent at or competent at, okay? So it's just something to think about. And obviously, we take it step by step over time. You do more of your superpower activities and less of your incompetent activities, okay? So once you understand your superpower, the next question is, who do you want to be a superhero to, okay? It's a great question to ask my students. Essentially, like you have this amazing skill, this amazing power. Who do you want to serve, right? Just like BJ discovered his ideal client, who is yours? And a great question I like to ask my students is, what pain do you want to heal in the world, okay? If you could eradicate a pain, a challenge, a problem that people have, focus on that. That's a good place to start and find out who's like your ideal client. Right now when people are calling you up, opting in to your website, coming into your facility, what type of people are they? Who do you attract? Because you attract who you are, right? A lot of my clients are very similar to me. You saw Eli, he's one of my students. You can see a lot of similarities there, but I am myself and I attract people like me. So I want to be a hero to Eli, a guy like that, who's all about personal development. He's positive, he's an action taker. He has a successful online fitness business called 7-Figure Body, helps entrepreneurs. That's who he wants to be a hero to. But it's getting very specific, right? The more specific you are, the more you attract. And it's really like when you're in that place where you're solving a problem, it's also your mission, right? When you want to eradicate a pain, if it's depression or obesity or diabetes, you're creating this mission for yourself and you're solving a problem. And if you look at history, the people that solve the bigger problems have the bigger impact, right? So I solve a problem, and I'm grateful for what I do, but Elon Musk solves a big-ass problem, right? So look at what Elon Musk is doing for humanity, and look at his impact, look at his wealth, look at his influence, okay? So you got to think about bigger and bigger problems you want to solve, so you then create a legacy, right? You create something in this lifetime that transcends your life on earth, right? So the more and more you think about that, who do you want to be a hero to? What pain do you want to heal? The more this becomes apparent. So next up is a few questions. And like I said, just answer these on the fly. You can take a quick screenshot of this or just basically write them down. But these are the questions that I ask my students. What do you love learning about? Like, if I paid for an entire year of studying and you had 2 to 3 subjects you could study, and I paid you to study them, what would they be? Like I said, what pain do you want to heal? If you're going to eradicate a pain in this world, a problem that people suffer with, what suffering would you end? And finally, right, who do you want to be a hero to? Who is a specific person? If you could train them, if you could coach them, if you could work with them all day long, they would just give you energy. What are their personality traits? What are their demographics? And I'm telling you, like, this is the stuff that becomes very powerful, because once I wrote down my ideal client, the person I want to be a hero to, explicitly wrote it down It's called creating an avatar, right? That's another word for it. But essentially, you're writing it, you're giving them a name, you're giving them a personality. And what I do when I make a video, when I write a blog post, I'm only speaking to that person, okay? So I know how they think. I know what makes them excited, what frustrates them. I'm speaking to them exactly, and by doing that, I attract more of them into my life, okay? That's who I want to be a hero to. So start making that little distinction. And finally, what legacy do you want to leave, right? Our time on earth is so limited, but we could do something in this lifetime that will echo into eternity. I know it sounds kind of deep, but start thinking like that, and you'll get answers like that, right? Because I ask a lot of questions. I'm asking you a lot of questions. But when you answer that question, what can you do in this lifetime that will echo into eternity? It's very deep, but something inside you awakens, and you start to come up with insights. And this leads to your superpower. This leads to your dream come true business, okay? And that's all I want to do. If I can just be a catalyst and you get that one insight, that's the biggest thing right there. So what I like to focus on with my students, and it's something I urge people to focus on as well, is like when you're on the top of your game, right, especially like in the online world, you're only doing two things. You're performing and publishing, okay? So like if you look at a person like Tony Robbins, for example, he's a coach. He's got an amazing following. Curious, is anyone in here Tony Robbins fans? Just raise your hands or heard of the man? Okay, yes, exactly. So like I said, he's a guy who started off doing one-on-one coaching. He was driving to people, working with them, gaining results, gaining competency, gaining mastery. Then he started doing seminars, right? That's performing, okay? So at first, you may be doing one-on-one training, you're performing, and then you're performing one-to-many, having a mastermind, having group coaching, then you're performing on webinars, performing on stages, okay? The next thing you're doing is publishing. Publishing, eventually you want to get your book out into the world, share your story, share your message, leave a legacy, right? A book is great because it's a piece of content that you create once, but thousands of people potentially read the book. They're immersed in it for 6 to 7 hours. It is like the one piece of media that you could just get your whole philosophy out to a person, right? And we're going to talk about writing a book and how it's going to grow your brand fairly soon. But essentially, it's publishing information products, publishing podcasts. So if you could get to the place where you're in your superpower, you're performing and publishing, imagine what that would do for your energy, for your creativity, for your insights, okay? So I'm going to go very quickly into the 3 factors. It is the attract, sell, and serve model. So a lot of us are doing like marketing on social media, and the biggest thing is how to get leads and not likes, okay? Because it's easy to get likes and to get people to engage with your content, but there's a whole nother animal of converting your social media followers into leads, potential customers, okay? So we're going to go into that. I'm going to share some of the stuff that I do, right, that really helped me and my students, and just making that transition. Because we all know that chasing repels clients, right? You don't want to chase people down, just remind them, hey, buy my shit, call me up. It's like, listen, I'm a person of value, and I have credibility, so all you have to do is come to me, and I'll take you to the promised land. But you want to be the beacon, the attractive individual that people come to you, okay? And how do you become a beacon? How do you become attractive? Well, it's becoming an authority, okay? So like, here's an example of like what I like to use in an authority website. This is my website, super duper simple. It works for me. It's a lead pages template, right? Nothing fancy, but essentially I use this as a gateway for my website. It's a good way to get started. And what it does, it just captures leads all day long. I get hundreds of leads coming to this website every single day, okay? I use different sources. I'll tell you how to get traffic. But essentially, I like to keep things very simple, right? You can make an elaborate, expensive website, or you can have a simple website that does a few things. The website should do a few things: capture an email, have them call a phone number, or buy something, right? You don't want to do too many things, so I use like a gateway page to get people in. So I show them my students' case studies. I have seminars that I do twice a year in New York just for online coaching. And then I just give out a free course on building an online PT business, okay? So next thing that's very important is the power of results. And results are the best marketing. As you know, before you hire someone, you do like your due diligence. You're researching them. You want to make sure they get results. Same thing with you guys, right? People want to know if you have before and afters, testimonials, case studies. So I'm like relentless about getting results. So I have a page where I just share my students' results, and something I highly recommend to build people's credibility, because when you get people results, you show that everything you're saying, someone has gotten a result from it. It's proof. Actually, Robin is right there. He's in the crowd. He's on the video right now. I'm blowing up his spot. So, so like I said, I got a bunch of my students in here, which is awesome, but using him as a result. But the whole point is like, you want to show real people with real stories. And obviously in your marketing, people are coming in from a place of skepticism, right? Because the world of the internet, there's a lot of people that are scam artists, people that sell garbage. So the skeptical people, imagine they're coming in on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 or 2, who the hell are you and why should I buy from you? 10, I'm ready to invest. So when they're coming in to your authority website, they're coming in to your Facebook ad, they're very skeptical. 1 or 2, who are you? Why should I buy from you? You want to take them up the ladder. 1, 2, 3, know, like, trust, credibility, results. Here are people just like you that I've gotten results for, okay? So also, like, when you're putting out your content, you want to position yourself as an expert. So there's really 3 ways to get leads, okay? One is through positioning using free marketing, okay? So if you are the expert, right, like BJ's the expert in bikini bodies for women aged 25 to 35, that's his avatar, that's who he speaks to, ultra specific, he calls himself the bikini body expert, okay? So you're positioning yourself as an expert. You use your social media, you use your email list, even in person. That's free marketing, okay? Second is my favorite marketing. It's paid marketing. It's something that took me many, many years to understand and to master, but that's getting Facebook ads, YouTube ads, LinkedIn ads, pay-per-click ads. This is like direct response 101. People click on an ad, they go through your funnel, and then they buy your product, okay? So this is like a faucet. It's my New York accent, faucet. You turn it on when you need leads, you turn it off when you're good. So eventually, like in terms of mastery, I highly recommend understanding paid marketing. If you want to master it, like me, I'm an introvert. I'm not like a big networker. So like I like to just create my own traffic in terms of get my own leads. There's other people in here that don't like to use paid marketing. They use partnerships, meaning that they'd rather network with someone else and use their audience to grow their own business, okay? So a good partnership example is I have like an online weight loss program for busy moms. So I partner up with a mommy blogger who teaches lifestyle design. She teaches her students how to live a happy mommy lifestyle. I teach them fitness, okay? So we're non-competitive. She promotes for me, I promote for her. For college, but this is a partnership, right? So you guys are here for the NorCal Summit. We're partnering up. I'm serving. And I have a seminar. I invited Khalid to come to my seminar in 2 weeks in New York. Come on through, and I said, hey, I want you to speak as well. So he's serving them, okay? So there's like, I just find like, this is my personal opinion. If you're more of a networker and you're like a person who can make a lot of friends and do favors and ask for favors, like the partnership model may work better for you, right? If you're good at just kind of doing your own thing, creating your own traffic, learn paid marketing. Obviously, if you do both, you'll dominate, but I say start with one and kind of think about your own personality, okay? There's plenty of people in here that have businesses that are not quite competitive that you could help each other out. And just by having a conversation, what do you do? What do you do? Okay, well, we could create a synergy here. And in terms of like the framework, I use a simple framework whenever I create content, where I create videos. And as I mentioned earlier, like your number one job is to solve problems. So whenever I create a video, an email, a blog post, I just use this simple framework, okay? Number one, what is the problem of your target market? Number two, what is the process you would put them through? If you have some proof, results, case study, amazing. Finally, what's a promise, okay? What's your call to action? So an example would be like, if I go on Facebook and I make a quick 2-minute video and I say, hey, do you have a problem with belly fat? Would you like to lose 1 or 2 inches off your midsection? Well, I have an exercise that if you do this over the next few weeks, you'll reduce your midsection. like this video, and I'll send you a quick YouTube link with the exercise, okay? Super simple, right? I love the call to action on social media, like this video. It's like the easiest, laziest thing for a person to do. Maybe they like your video, maybe they don't, but it gives you the permission to email them, okay? You get a ton of leads just by doing this because a lot of people are on the fence, right? You can put out an offer, and sometimes we make it so complicated. Hey, go to this website, or call this phone number, or type in, I'm in. And, with weight loss or a lot of things, people are not going to be so public of exposing that they have a problem. So like this post is super easy. It works well. If you see this, I do in a lot of my videos on Facebook. I'm always putting out offers, solving problems, giving processes. Like this post, and I'll message you. So that opens that communication, message back and forth, and then take them to the next step. And also, another thing is there's a format of content, and a lot of stuff I talk about is mastery, because I feel like we have genetic superpowers, and some things come very easy to us. So you're going to create content in 3 ways. One of them is going to be your easiest and most powerful, okay? You could create content through video, through audio, or through text, okay? Now, I suck at typing. I'm like a turtle typer. I'm like boom, boom, hunt and peck. Takes me an hour to make a blog post, but I could talk and talk and talk. I could create video. So I do a lot of videos. I just press play, record, and I do a selfie video, and I have a YouTube channel. I post it on my Facebook. So that's my best content. Now, if I try to master typing, if I try to master podcasting, it's going to take me a lot longer. So when you're creating content, stick to one area and master that. No need to master everything. It's good to have things in different formats, but your predominant content delivery, like for me, it's video, and it's easier for me to do. Now, if I said, I don't want to do video, I want to do blog posts, right? Gary Vee is such a great example as that because he publicly admits that he hates writing. He doesn't type anything. He doesn't do blog posts. All of his content is videos. Even his books, he has a ghostwriter. They record him. He's on video, going, and that turns into a book. So he's not wasting his superpower trying to become a prolific writer. He just talks, they film him, and he's good to go, okay? So a lot of people just work in their zone of genius, and that's in content creation as well. And also, I like to use funnels that work. I've been running, like I said, an online business for the past 8 years. I'm always testing and tweaking, trying out different things. So basically, I've really come across this great funnel. It's called the Resurrection Funnel. And what it does, it brings in new leads. So if you have an email list or even a social media following of anywhere from 30 people to 30,000 people, it doesn't matter. If you use this, you'll get leads. And I'll be happy to share it with you. It's basically getting people that, what I call, are lurkers. They're on your email list. They don't respond. They're on your social media. They don't take action to your offers. Now, if you just follow this formula, you can even do it once a month. It'll reawaken your list, reawaken your following, and you'll get people to come back, respond, and go into your funnel, okay? So I've actually mapped out the whole funnel, and, to serve you guys here, I want to give it to you. So basically, if you just text the word amazing to 33444, you'll get my whole resurrection funnel. Basically, I have everything written out, the whole template, the email, the process. Feel free to download it just by texting the word amazing to that number, okay? 33444. Okay? So as I mentioned, there's a lot of different ways to go about with the content creation, right? Writing books, huge. We discussed the power of them. I'm not going to go too deep into them. I want to be conscious of time. But we know the power of the book. This is a book that I wrote in 30 days. And like I said, if you text your number, I'll walk you through my process on how I did it. Same thing, like I said, I don't type, I talk. So I have this great software. It's called Copy Talk. You transcribe it. I just talk to it every single day. Got this big, scary block of text. Hired an editor. She cleaned it up. Published it on Amazon, and that book became a bestseller. But you just talk. You just discuss your passions. You turn that into a book, okay? Just some of my students, we help launch their books. Just have this whole great process that makes them #1 bestseller. Brian Grasso got him to #1. Actually wrote the foreword to this book. Great book, all about mindset. If you have not read it, highly recommend it. And one of the speakers here recently, 3 weeks ago, got her to a #1 bestseller, Kira Palme. Really powerful book. Kira is a cancer survivor, and she wrote a book called Dominate Life, and she actually gave all the proceeds to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, okay? So, like, literally wrote the book. Every single penny made from the book goes, so I was happy to write the forward to it as well. It's a great book regardless, and you'll see her speak on Sunday. And when it comes to content, it's all about being prolific and not perfect, okay? So I used to be such a perfectionist when I was creating content. It was like the perfect video, the perfect blog post, everything. But just put out a lot of content, and you'll see what your marketplace wants. The person who puts out 10 videos a month is going to dominate the person who puts out 3 videos a month. So keep in mind, prolific and not perfect, okay? And my biggest philosophy that would help me become where I am today and help me grow my business is the understanding of this. Give freely of information and charge premium for implementation. So I just give a lot of value. I solve problems. I give. And then when I have my programs, I'm like, there's a premium cost to it, okay? So people do things differently. I don't believe in like selling $97 programs or $200 programs. I go on the high end, but I give so much free information that it makes sense for them. Wow, if this shit is free, I can't imagine what the paid stuff is, right? So there's different philosophies. If you look at a lot of people that use this model, like Tim Ferriss, great example is that. A lot of free information. One of my mentors, Joe Polish, does the same thing. He has a podcast, I Love Marketing. Gives so much, gives the recordings of his seminars, but I'm in his mastermind. It's $25,000 a year to be in it, okay? So because the free information gave me so much knowledge, I joined his mastermind, okay? Makes sense. But that is one way that's really going to take you to the top. Give your best shit away for free and then charge premium for your coaching, okay? And this is something that I did actually like beginning of September. I did a free 7-day challenge to help a bunch of random strangers on social media earn their first $1,000 through online fitness coaching. I just put out a video and I said, if you share this video, I will coach you for free over the next 7 days and I'll teach you how to make $1,000 within 1 week. And I put out the video on my Facebook page. I got about 140 shares. All these new people who have no idea who I am, have no idea about my skill set. I'm making a bold claim. I put them into this group, and a bunch of people were able to hit their $1,000. Like people that just started who have no type of business acumen as well made their first $1,000. So what did I do? I gave a ton of free value in those 7 days, helped a bunch of people make their first $1,000 online. I have testimonials, case studies. It wasn't my intention to sell, but I was able to sell a few people into my mastermind. I got 10 people at my seminar, but I give. And when you give like free 7-day challenge on social media, that model is super simple. I will coach you for free with my superpower if you share this video. Now that's viral, it gets shared, you get people into your world, you serve them, you give them a taste, a big result in the beginning, and then at the end, maybe they work with you, maybe they follow you. But coming from a place of giving, you never fail, okay? So I'm all about giving. Obviously, I've made a great living for myself. I'm super grateful for that. But the rest of my day is like, how can I serve others? When I wake up, every single day, the one question I ask is, how can I serve people at the highest level? How can I give? How can I share, right? Because obviously, it's not about just the money, but it's about the fulfillment as well. Making someone's life better. I don't expect everyone to be my client, but I expect to help everyone, okay? So, quick question. I'm going to just go into quick design on your packaging and your pricing. So, what's your short-term ideal income? Let's say if you were to launch an online coaching business in the next 2 to 3 months, what would be your ideal income? Okay, just write it on a piece of paper. Keep it private. Obviously, you don't have to tell me this, but I just want to have you suspend disbelief, figure out some packages, figure out how to formulate a high-end program. Okay, next 2 to 3 months, what monthly income from online coaching would make you happy? Okay, so exactly where you want to be. And essentially, it's basically setting up an automated sales system, right? So like, let's say one of my students wants to make $8,000 a month, okay? Okay, very simple model. Let's focus on your ideal target client, figure that out first. We create a package for them. Let's say, start off with a $1,000 12-week transformation program, right? And our main goal is set up a marketing system and an automated sales system that sells 2 programs a week. We sell 2 programs a week, $2,000 a week, $8,000 a month. That's a reality, okay? So it's just like taking a step back, reverse engineering, and then having the right systems to make that a reality, okay? And the greatest thing is webinars. This helps tremendously. Webinars are obviously automated sales systems. You create a webinar once, and it takes people from 1 to 10, warms them up, credibility, know, like, and trust. I have a whole webinar process I go with my students. It's one of the fastest way to warm people up. Let's say a person on Facebook, they like your video, watch my webinar. The webinar does all the heavy lifting, takes them from who the hell are you to here's my money, I'm ready to invest in a very short amount of time, 30 minutes to an hour, okay? I'm not going to go into the whole webinar breakdown because I'm limited on time today, but you could feel free to model. I have a webinar that's been converting 7 figures year after year. I've not changed it, and feel free to model it, swipe it, just like it's a recording of it. Look at what I do. Look at how I develop the problem that I'm creating for my target market, the process, the call to action, and do it for your superpower, okay? You're allowed to swipe it, totally on me. And I'm going to go through sales very quickly because Khaled, he's the man for sales. He knows sales like the back of his hand. And I'm a student of it, right? And for me, it's like I just like to dabble in it, but he's the go-to guy. But in terms of sales, right, it's like something that I had to come to terms with, like what does sales mean to you? For me, like I was always scared of sales. I felt like a used car salesman. Like when I asked for money, I would freeze up, like my tone would change. And that's something I had to really learn. Like, sales is not something where you're pushing someone to do something they don't want to do. You're actually transferring your love. I know it sounds kind of sensitive and woo-woo, but you're transferring your love to them. Like, I have so much love for you that right now the pain of staying where you are is far greater than investing in me to take you to the promised land, okay? That's a belief that I have, and I know that whenever I sell, I'm showing a person love. I'm taking them from the depths of hell to the heights of heaven, okay? Because the cost of them being where they are, if you think about one of your clients, like if they have never hired you, never came into your world, how shitty would their life be if they stayed on that path, okay? And realizing that every single person you could create that transformation with, it'll change your mindset towards sales, okay? And this is a philosophy that I love to use towards sales, and that is needing nothing attracts everything, okay? Like I don't sell, I give value. And by giving value, people are attracted to what I have to offer, okay? Same thing in business, in dating, right? The neediest person always fails, right? If I just meet a girl and I'm just like texting her, hey, what are you doing? What are you up to? Do you miss me? I miss you. Here's my favorite song. What's your favorite song? And we do this in like 10 minutes. She's like, the hell's wrong with this guy, right? Like, but that's the thing and everything in life, right? If I'm like, buy my shit, buy my shit, buy my shit, buy my shit, then people are like, hey, what's up with this, right? So I'm going to just kind of go through sales very, very briefly, like I said, not go too far into it. But essentially, it's philosophy. The most important thing you do in a sales process, in person or on the phone, is controlling the frame, okay? The only 2 ways you can control the frame is the time and the agenda, okay? So, hey, we have 30 minutes for this call, and I want to ask you some questions to see if or how I can help you. If I can, we'll work on a solution. If I can't, I'll promise to add value. Is that okay? Super quickly, you're controlling the frame with 2 things. I got this from a great book called Pitch Anything by Orrin Claff. One of the greatest books on selling from the place of being the prize. Yes? So like in any type of sales process, you want to control the frame. And the 2 ways that you control the frame is by stating the time and stating the agenda. Okay? So in the beginning, you tell how long the call is going to be and what you're going to do. I'm going to ask you questions to see if you're a good fit for my program. I know for some of you, it's kind of like, wow, that's like aggressive language. But people want to come to a professional, right? They don't want to come to a friend. They want an authority. Like I said, like a brain surgeon, he's not your friend. He's like, I want to diagnose your pain, figure out what is wrong with you so we can save your life, okay? That's what people want. They want the authority figure. So again, it's like, in the beginning, cut to the chase. Why now and why me, okay? 2 powerful questions I always ask in the beginning of every sales call. Why now? Why me? Why are we talking right now and why'd you pick me? So they're going to tell you No bullshit. Let's cut to the chase, okay? So is this something you want to do now or later, right? Sooner or later problem, okay? Next thing I go into is the 5 whys. So very quickly, it's like you ask why 5 times to your prospect. Why do you want to lose weight? Well, I want to lose 20 pounds. Why do you want to lose 20 pounds? Well, I feel like my husband is not attracted to me. Why isn't your husband attracted to you? I don't know. I feel like my husband's looking at other women, and if I lose 20 pounds, I'll look better. I'm just curious, like, why does it bother you that your husband looks at other women? Well, I feel like my husband's going to leave me and cheat on me, and he doesn't love me anymore. We haven't had sex in 3 months, and I'm just really insecure with my body. Wow, whoa, okay. I got what I need. So you always want to ask why. Like, why do you want to do this? Cut the surface level shit and go to the deep shit, because that's why they're going to invest. That's the deep thoughts that they have. Maybe they're conscious or unconscious of it, but ask why. Get to the root cause, okay? Super important. And then a great question is basically the Dan Sullivan question. So I just asked this, okay, great. This is what you want to do. This is your deepest pain. If we were meeting here 3 months from today, looking back, what does have to have happened during that period for you to be happy with your progress? So you take them to the depths of hell. Why? Numerous times in every single area. Then what is the big vision you want to create? You create that vision, right? Like a vision that asks you, 3 months from now, what is your ideal monthly income? Right? You know, you're creating a vision. This is what I want. I'm sorry, you have a question? Yes. Oh, you're familiar with Dan Sullivan. Cool. Because I'm selling a 3-month program. So I'm like, I'm doing 12 weeks. What do you want in 12 weeks? You know, so whatever your length of your program is, you tweak it. That's their vision 3 months from now, okay? And super easy close. So everyone knows what they need. You don't want to tell them. So essentially you say, out of curiosity, since you know yourself better than anyone else, what do you need to solve this problem? They think about this problem all the time. Well, I need accountability. I need to know how to eat. I need to know how to work out. Oh, super simple. That is exactly what my program does. And you say the solution in their same exact words. Whatever they tell you, you create this beautiful prescription, right? You're this authority expert. You're writing a diagnosis, and then you're creating a perfect tailor-fit solution to their needs, okay? Finding out the severity of their pain and giving them exactly what they need. People will buy when they know it's something that they need for themselves. They're going to tell you in their own language. Use their own language. That's why I take a lot of notes when I do sales calls. But this is how you sell, like I said, multiple high, 5-figure deals, because this is the deep stuff that a lot of people don't do. They do the surface level stuff. When you go into the deep stuff, people understand that it may cost thousands to solve their problem because they've been doing it for years and they spent thousands and not gotten anywhere. But working with you, they will get there. And a great thing is to use like a case study at all times. Basically, the biggest thing that I've learned is you are a fraction of your client. Like I said, your thoughts, your habits, even investing. Like when I invested in Joe Polish's mastermind and I paid $25,000, I now have the right to ask other people to pay me $5,000 for my weight loss program, okay? Because I see the value in investing, and I spend that easily now, no problemo, so I can ask someone else. So whatever you do, your client's going to do that to you. If you get objections like, let me think about it, typically you're making very skeptical decisions. If you get, I don't have enough money, maybe you're not spending money. If you get people that join your programs after 2-3 weeks, they quit, do you find yourself doing that with other people's coaching programs? This sounds weird and it's kind of woo-woo, but it is so true that you are a reflection of your client. Once you want your clients to change, you must change yourself, okay? In a lot of ways, obviously, this makes a lot of sense. But the biggest thing is, with high-end coaching, and I talk about this all the time, the more you pay attention, okay? So the higher you charge, you get a higher level of commitment. You get more skin in the game, right? Keep that in mind. That's why I'm a big recommender of selling high-ticket coaching. Yes? If your clients, okay, say the question again.
It said if your clients say they don't have enough money for your program, that means in a way that you're not spending enough money.
To an extent, yes. It's like, yeah, absolutely. So basically, if you're getting a lot of clients who are saying, I don't have it, I don't have the budget, right? It's like, first of all, you're not showing them the value, because people will always find a way, right? People will always find a way to pay you, and if you get the desire within them, they'll figure it out. Same thing with you. Like, if there's something you really want badly, you'll make it happen. You know, I've had a lot of clients to go around stuff, and they do it, but it's like your level of certainty of selling your program, and also when you believe in that certainty about yourself and your program, they feel it themselves too. They'll do whatever it takes. But if you're in your head, you're saying, well, this is a little too expensive. If I'm going to charge them $1,000 for this, maybe it's too much, and you're verbalizing that in your own mind, they're energetically going to feel the same way as well, okay? And also, there's a great program. It's called PayPal Credit. It's an interest-free financing option. So PayPal, if you have an account with them, they'll give you a 9-month loan interest-free, okay? So like I'm selling high-end weight loss coaching for $5,000. Maybe someone doesn't have the $5,000. You can use PayPal Credit. You get an interest-free loan for 9 months. As long as you pay them back in 9 months, you don't get charged any interest. So there's also financing options as well. But obviously, you want to work on the internal first, and then work on, the other options they could do. But little tip for that. And this is one of my students. Like I said, he uses the same exact sales process named Sterling. Cut him off a little bit. But he's basically created $66,000 a month in revenue using the same exact sales process. He's an online fitness coach. He actually coaches Lewis Howes. That's one of his clients, right? He focuses on male entrepreneurs, very small segment of the market, and age 30 to 40, right? And he sells, I think his highest level program's $18,000 in online fitness coaching. Okay, this is an email he just sent me, but this is the same exact process. Yes? Extremely important, just because it's like when you're doing the targeting, especially with paid traffic, you could target by age, you could target by profession, you could target by income, you could target by zip code, you could target everything. Like if you have a Facebook on your phone, they capture everything. They know your bank account information, how much money you spend. So everything is targeted and tracked. And when using paid marketing, we're given all that information as marketers. So you want to get super crystal clear. And there's also ways in your copy, in your ad, you write down a specific age. And the more people say, oh, that's exactly who I am, the more they'll move forward, okay? So, yes, wrap it up. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up right now. Okay, so like I said, this is a lot of stuff that's about building your back-end program. I kind of touched upon this. It's basically, this is what I sell for my weight loss program, Simple 6 Months Transformation. It's a $1,000 and a $5,000 package, and then once they get past the 6 months, I downsell them into a $197 retainer, month-to-month program, okay? Also sell supplements. I do affiliate offers, but it's my main offerings are those two things, $1,000 and a $5,000 program. And it basically, it's just working hard once, scaling an online coaching business. And also, I like I said, I'm all about giving. I'm all about sharing, contributing. Because this is something that took me 8 years to figure out, but I've got it down to a simple formula. Like I said, the 5 systems. Once you get these dialed in, you'll get the end result, okay? So we're near the end here. I'm going to wrap up. I know I shared a lot of information. I'm super passionate about this stuff. So pardon me if I talk fast or if I go off to different tangents. But I want to share one quick thing that I'm doing actually for the people inside this room. So this is one of my students who, I just posted this on Facebook the other day. This is their bank account for their online coaching business. They started off in the red. At the bottom was the money that they owed and the money that they made. And literally, we got them to $20,000 a month, okay? And their expenses about $4,000 a month. This is the exact email that I got. So it says, hey, coach, I've been taking pics of my bank statement since I started with you 3 months ago. Investing in you as a coach was a stretch, but I knew there was something bigger out there for me. I'm glad it stuck with me because I'm having a goal of $20K per month in online training. Can't wait to see what this pic looks like by the end of the year, okay? Proud moment, grateful for this, but what I want to do is help you guys achieve the same type of results. So here's what I'm doing for the people inside this room. I'm taking on 5 new students for a pilot program that I created. So my big goal for 2017 in January is basically launching an information product of the 5 systems, fully wrapped up, every single step what to do. But I want to take on 5 people as what I call guinea pigs and put them through the process that I'm doing right now with my top students, how to accelerate things so that by the end of the year, from November to January of 2017, we're going to get you to $10,000 in online coaching, okay? But there's a few requirements. So you have to hit these criterias. Number one, you're already getting results from people in real life, super important. You're getting it in person, you could do it online. I guarantee that. I'll show you the technology, the apps, software. You make at least $1,000 a month in total income. You're going to need some money to spend in paid advertising and website expenses. And you're willing to share your testimonial after the program's over, okay? I want to use you as a case study. Map your journey over the 12 weeks. So in 2017, when I launch, we could use you as one of the success stories. And most importantly, like I said, you invest in yourself. You understand that to grow your business, you need to invest in yourself, in your business model for massive growth, okay? So super simple. The last requirement, this is the most important one, you have to keep a secret, okay? Because I'm going to make you sign a confidentiality agreement that you're going to share your testimonial, but a lot of the templates I'm going to give you, I'm a big believer in giving you the templates. I'm going to give you like the 80% done-for-you process of the exact ad to use, the exact webinar to use, the exact funnel, and help you build out your whole back end. So it's 80% done for you, 20% you have to do the work yourself, but I want to create a pilot program that creates rapid results. And it's very simple. It's like I said, some of my select students are making $20K a month using the same exact process. I've got it down into a template where you can just implement very quickly. So here's how to apply, right? So it's super simple. If you meet those 5 criteria, simply text the same word, amazing, to 33444. And when you text, there's going to be a little link. It's going to be a quick calendar with a 10-minute call. So what I'm going to do is jump on a call with you over 10 minutes and see if or how I can help you. We're going to talk about your business, how to take your skill, your superpower, determine what that is, and if we could build a pilot program into this online coaching fitness funnel, okay? So super simple as that. If you already texted it, cool. You also get my resurrection funnel. So, woo! First and foremost, I want to acknowledge you guys because you guys have been like the best audience that I've ever spoken to. Like, because Kira and I, we're staying together and we're friends. Don't think nothing more than that. But anyways, we speak at a lot of seminars together, and we're at another seminar, and it was like everyone's like so bored and tired. You guys are like engaged. You're awesome. You're beautiful. You're sexy. Woo! I'm so grateful to be here. So thank you guys. I'll be here for the next 3 days. Khalid, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, thanks.
If you're a personal trainer, odds are good enough isn't good enough. You want to do more, train more, and build your business. But being the best takes work, and it takes a lot more than just delivering a killer workout. You got to think beyond the session, keep your clients inspired, accountable, and focused on results, all while signing up new leads and growing your client base. This stuff is hard to do. It takes a lot of time. And you know what they say, time is money. Off-Day Trainer saves you time and makes you money. Our innovative technology combines text messaging and mobile marketing to reach your clients in real time. With Off-Day Trainer, you'll build your client base. New leads text a keyword to your unique number, fill out a questionnaire, and easily schedule their first session with you. Once they're in, they automatically get session reminders, plus daily inspiration and encouragement based on their unique goals, keeping your clients accountable and focused all week long. You can even keep in touch with former clients, ensure they stay in shape, or let them know that you're ready to help them get back on track, even if they fall behind. Just set up your account and we'll handle the rest. Sign up today to raise the bar and say goodbye to good enough.
Hey guys, Todd Durkin here, Fitness Quest 10, San Diego, California. First off, shout out to all the folks that are following my dose of Durkin every Monday morning. Shots of motivation and inspiration. And thanks to all my friends over at Off Day Trainer for powering that whole platform. I always talk to fit pros and trainers about more touch points and mobile technologies.